Haiti entered the world stage. FIFA banned the jersey. Call it too political. Haiti are forced to change. Why hasn't the world forgiven Haiti? They were perfectly fine with other teams wearing symbols of conquest, poppies stitched onto Premier League kits every November, Crusader crosses on national crests, war imagery dressed up as heritage. The question isn't why the shirt was banned. It's who decided that Haiti's history was the threat. The world doesn't just ignore 1803 because it's old. It ignores it because 1803 did something that wasn't supposed to be possible. It broke the one rule every empire agreed on. A place that was supposed to be a plantation, a machine for generating European wealth, had suddenly decided it was a nation. This wasn't a transition of power, it was an entire demolition of it. For 13 years, people who were legally defined as property fought the most powerful empires on earth, and they won. The entire system of slavery relied on a single myth, that black people were inherently inferior and incapable of governing themselves. The world's empires needed that myth to be true so they could sleep at night while committing atrocities. Haiti took that entire framework and ripped it apart. When an army of formerly enslaved people defeated the greatest military powers in Europe, they turned black liberation from an impossible dream into a historical fact. They proved the racial order wasn't a law of nature, it was a fragile house of cards. This is why the world was terrified. Haiti became a living, breathing example that the people at the bottom could not only overthrow their masters, but successfully rule themselves. It was a total collapse of the intellectual excuse for slavery, and the gatekeepers have never forgotten that. In 1825, France returned with a bill, roughly $20 billion today, as an indemnity, compensation for their loss of property, and that property was themselves. A nation of formerly enslaved people, forced to pay their former masters for the right to exist. They didn't finish paying until 1947. France didn't formally annul the decree until 2016. They never paid a cent back. To keep a system like this running, you don't just need to empty a nation's bank account. You need to control the very definition of right and wrong. You have to build a world where the violence used to enslave people is called order, but the violence used to free them is called savagery. Take the French Revolution, globally celebrated as the birth of liberty, equality, but it was a massacre. During the Reign of Terror, 17,000 people were officially executed. Thousands more died in prisons. We don't teach it as terrorism, we teach it as a heroic struggle against tyranny, because the side that won was the side that wrote textbooks. Then you look at the Crusades, centuries of religiously sanctioned mass violence. Today, those symbols haven't disappeared. They've been sanitized. The Portuguese national team still bears the cross of the Order of Christ, a symbol from a 14th century crusading order. Nobody at FIFA calls that too political. It's treated as heritage, as historical complexity. When the foundation of an institution is built by empires, its neutrality is just a code word for the empire's comfort. Take the very organization that banned the Haiti jersey, FIFA, founded in 1904 by 7 European nations, almost all of them colonial empires at their peak. For decades it wasn't a World Cup. Africa didn't get a guaranteed spot until 1970. The rules were written to protect the people who built the room. This is why a European team can wear a symbol and it's called tradition, but a Haitian team was a symbol of their own freedom and it's too political. The act can be identical, but the label changes based on who is doing it. Frantz Fanon saw this clearly. He argued that colonialism is a thinking machine. It doesn't respond to reason because it was never built on reason, it was built on force. And it's one the whole video has been building towards. If the system only understands force, who decided that the burden of peace should fall entirely on the person being crushed? We're raised on a very specific type of hero, the one who takes the blow, who keeps their head high and who never strikes back. We call that dignity, but look at who is actually doing the teaching. When we tell oppressed people that love is the only way to win, we aren't usually giving them a strategy for victory. We're giving them a strategy for survival that doesn't make us uncomfortable. If a government uses economic sanction to starve a country's population into submission, we call it foreign policy. We have to ask ourselves, are we actually upset about the violence, or just upset that someone is finally speaking the only language the system actually listens to? History isn't something that happened, it's something that repeats. It's the modern version of King Charles X's revenge in 1825. Back then, France told Haiti, you can have your freedom, but only if you pay us for the loss of our slaves. FIFA is saying the same thing. You can play on our stage, but only if you hide the symbols of how you got here. They aren't just banning a design, they are demanding that Haiti's national identity be sanitized so the powerful don't have to remember what actually happened. So why was 1803 too much? Because that battle is the moment the hierarchy died, and you don't put that on a shirt. The question we should be asking isn't whether resistance is justified, it's why we only ever ask that question about the people at the bottom, never about the systems pressing down on them. The Haiti jersey wasn't rejected because it glorified violence. Football has always been saturated with the imagery of battle. The jersey was rejected because it told the truth, a factual tribute to people who refused to be property, and in a system built on maintaining a very specific order. An accurate story about the wrong people winning is the most dangerous thing you can put on a shirt. Started this video with a question: who decided that Haiti's history was a threat? The answer is anyone who needs the hierarchy to stay intact. Haiti didn't ask for forgiveness in 1804, they didn't ask for it in 1825, they're not asking for it now. The only revolution the world won't forgive is the one that proved the whole system was a lie.